For the loyal listeners of Life Unrehearsed, you may have heard me talk about my dog, Zola. Zola's a Great Dane, all 120 pounds of her. Really an amazing dog. And one of my concerns that weighs on me is that they don't have a terribly long lifespan, somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 years. And our Zola is going to be 8 years old in March, so it's a bit worrisome. But as I talk to other pet owners, many are concerned about their aging pets. In fact, the compassionate care of aging pets is becoming more and more popular. Well, I'm very pleased to have in studio with me Dr. Katy Mold. Dr. Mold is the owner of Compassion Vet Montreal, and she is a certified hospice and palliative care veterinarian, the first and only one in Quebec. Dr. Mold, welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Thank you so much for having me, Matt. I'm happy to be here.
All right, Dr. Mold, thank you so much. Now, you are a dog lover as well. Your dog, Maverick, what type of dog is Maverick?
He's a Hungarian Vizsla.
And how old is Maverick?
He's 3.
3, okay. Still young, and I know you bring Maverick out to the dog park on a regular basis. So fun. Dr. Mold, can you provide me with a little background about yourself?
Yeah, I was born and raised and studied in Glasgow, Scotland. I graduated from the University of Glasgow Vet School in 2002. And since then, I've been in small animal practice, probably now an equal split between working in the UK and Canada. We've been here so long. In 2020, I became certified in hospice and palliative care. And for the last few years, changed my work to focus specifically on the end-of-life needs of sick and senior pets.
Amazing. You know, so many people, and knowing some of your clients that I've talked to them, and it's such a field that's developing. Good for you for recognizing this. We love our pets. They are so important to people. In fact, I think it's more than 55% of Canadians are pet owners. And there are some real health benefits to owning a pet. So can you describe a few of those health issues?
Yeah, well, I think the list of benefits is pretty much endless. You know, there's nothing comparable to the relationship that you have with your pet. You know, it's that unconditional love in either direction. But studies have shown much improved physical and emotional health in people that have pets. You know, increased physical activity, improved immune function, and, you know, that calming presence, the release of oxytocin with even the smallest interaction with our pets, reduces blood pressure, reduces stress, and gives people a sense of purpose and keeps them moving and having a routine. It teaches children and adults about the responsibility and compassion involved in caring for another living being.
You know, it's so true, and I could hear the pet owners right now listening to you, and many of those benefits are certainly there. Talking with Dr. Katy Mold here on Life Unrehearsed, and Dr. Mold is the owner of Compassion Vet Montreal. Dr. Mold, that bond with the pets, as you've just described, is so special, but it can become very challenging and emotional as their pets get older. So what are some of the challenges pet owners deal with as their pets age or face serious illness?
Well, often senior pets have many medical issues and multiple physical and medical issues all simultaneously, so it can be super hard to balance. You know, there's a lot of emotional strain and grief. People have a huge level of anticipatory grief, worrying about what ifs and the not unknowns. It can really be an emotional roller coaster. It seems to be sometimes one thing after another as they get older. I'm sure it's the same in people. They're faced often with difficult decisions for treatment choices, whether to do that big surgery or undergo a course of chemotherapy, you know, when to consider euthanasia and how to know when that would be an appropriate decision. There's just so much uncertainty. And then there's the practical caregiving needs. Just administering medication to a cat can, you know, be super challenging, and just taking care of hygiene of a large dog like Zola, you know, who can't get up, and just the feeding, making sure they're eating enough, hydrating, it can be really challenging. And then coming to dealing with the death and, you know, itself, you know, aftercare, their own grief, their children's grief, the grief of the pets in the home as well, and then just the financial costs of all of that goes with it.
Yeah, a lot of concerns for that anticipatory grief that you're talking about. We've talked about that quite a bit on the human side for here on Life Unrehearsed, but it's very much prevalent also for pet owners. Now, you have a wonderful company. It's called Compassion Vet Montreal. It's a mobile service for pet owners. Really smart and good idea, and it's far more than in-home euthanasia, isn't it? Let's talk about some of the more popular services, starting with you have something called a quality of life assessment. What is that?
Absolutely. By far the most difficult decision our caregivers face is when to say goodbye. You know, it's complicated and different for every family, and this is where our independent quality of a life assessments really are invaluable. We are in the comfort of your own home, sitting down. It's a highly personalised service. We review the pet's medical files and history. I will examine the animal and give my own assessment. We discuss the different challenges the caregiver is facing, their goals and wishes for their pet. And we talk about budgets, and that's not just financial budget. That's, a lot of caregiving budgets, including emotional, physical, and the time. It's a roller coaster of uncertainty, and everybody has a different budget of their tolerance of that. Then there's the time budget. COVID has brought a lot of people working from home, so more people are able to provide the care their senior pets need. But prior to that, it was very challenging. Then we discussed what that disease means for the pet, what's the likely trajectory, how that's likely to progress, and we provide resources for them in order to manage that. And the assessment should be ongoing and dynamic, and we adapt as we go.
Listening to Life on Earth, Matt Del Vecchio here, and talking with Dr. Katy Mold. She's the owner of Compassion Vet Montreal. And Dr. Mold, you've offered those services. You also offer senior wellness and care plans for pets. I quickly want to go into, you offer also in-home euthanasia for pets. And why is in-home so important?
When it comes to euthanasia, there really is no place like home. It provides comfort and familiarity for the pet. It's a calm, controlled environment with familiar sights, sounds, and smells. So there's a much less anxiety and fear, and there's no stressful, painful car ride, no busy vet clinic. They can be on their favourite spot, eating their favourite treats with their favourite people, and it's just lovely for the pets. And for the families, it's a private, intimate setting. There's no rush, no interruptions. We provide the space and privacy to grieve and say goodbye in their own way. And our focus is solely on the pet and the family, no distractions.
Talking with Dr. Katy Mold here on Life Unrehearsed. And Dr. Mold, whenever we bring up the topic of pets, the texts start coming in. It's amazing how many people love their pets, and being able to do the in-home service, I think, is so crucial. I know I can't even think about Zola turning 8 and don't even want to go there, but it is emotional. How do you handle it? I mean, almost on a daily basis for you, it must be, I know you have to put on your professional face, but it must take a toll also on you and your people that are working with you.
Absolutely. And we have to learn we can be empathetic and compassionate, but we can't take on that grief for other people. But it's very meaningful work. When we go into people's homes, we see so much love between the pets and the caregivers and the relationships. And we absolutely adore to hear the stories of the pets and how they came about finding each other, and the naughty things the pets get up to, or the happy memories, or the funny things. So, that's how we try to see the good in those difficult situations.
Well, good for you. Well, we're already out of time, Dr. Mold. Thank you so much for coming to the studio to join me. How can our listeners get a hold of you?
They can check our website out at www.compassionvet.ca or give us a call on 438-800-2025 or follow us on Facebook or Instagram.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That's Dr. Katy Mold. She's the owner of Compassion Vet Montreal.